they are fundamentally different from you in that sense. They deny that there is a truth to be discovered because they hate accountability. They hate the fact that when you acknowledge that there is a truth to be discovered, that necessitates an individual identity. That's the only element of this conversation that they were missing at the end of it when I tuned in. No one had said they don't believe in the concept of truth in and of itself. They hate objectivism. They wouldn't engage in a debate because they don't believe in debate. They don't believe in free speech. That's the reason why they disregard free speech without a second thought. They ban tenured professors for liking posts. That's what the old Twitter was. And they do it with a smile while calling themselves the good guys because they've divorced themselves from objective notions of truth, from objective notions of accountability. That's what Marxism does. And this is what people must understand. Guys, the World Economic Forum is shaking. The enemies of truth, the enemies of virtue, of morality, of reality itself are trembling right now. Today is a historic day that will go down in history. The energy going on right now is like a renewal of the founding fathers of America. I just disconnected from the call, the Twitter space with Elon Musk, where he just, the most recent thing he just said, so that you guys can sort of timestamp this in your mind, is he just said he is willing to personally go to prison to ensure people have the right to speak out and hold the government accountable with ultimate transparency. Unlike this tyrannical, despicable regime that existed before Elon Musk courageously bought the platform, where they would suspend tenured professors for simply liking photos that went against the leftist hive mind. There's so much to talk about. And I'm going to analyze it here because this day is the forces of good, the forces of truth, the future of humanity that is battling. And make no mistake about it, this is the fight of our lifetime. This is probably the fight that will define the future of humanity. I'm talking about millions of years from now, they will look back and be able to say, we decided to choose life. We rejected the death of the worst parts of ideology, the worst parts of psychopathology that the human mind could derive, of anti-humanity, which is what Marxism is. There were those that resisted the insane cowards and built something better. Okay, guys, I found the recording. We are going to analyze this through and through. This is groundbreaking.
My uncle was in a motorcycle accident and got an experimental brain chip 5 years ago and now can walk and talk and everything else. So I'm not against brain chips when you need them. I don't think Musk is bad for pushing.
That's interesting. I never realized that before. Alex Jones historically has led the charge against I guess you could say, the tools of the globalists to control humanity. And a lot of people have equated that with brain chips and Elon Musk's Neuralink. So to hear Alex Jones say that Elon Musk's Neuralink is not a part of that anti-humanity agenda is going to be very helpful for a lot of people to understand, because that's something that not a lot of people have understood. I should say a very select, narrow skew audience has able to put those things together. I want to hear the Tate brothers, and I want to see if they speak to Elon Musk directly.
This platform didn't exist. You know, that avenue of sorting out bad speech through more speech doesn't really exist on the internet or in our culture. And so I think that's, in response to Ed, a good thing, not a bad.
Right. It was an evolved mechanism that exists in the real world by necessity and by the fact that the world that we know exists as a result of being built by people that cared about truth. And so sort of by de facto, by default, free speech has been embedded in the frameworks of sophisticated society. But soy boy psychopath globalists built the internet. They left out parts of civilization that lead to their inevitable demise, like free speech.
There is a 3-letter agency running this. Not all of them, but let's just say it starts with a C.
Oh my gosh, dude, the C.
And it ends with an A. Sorry, go ahead.
Dude, the CIA is using a law firm to attack Andrew Tate. Of course, the soy boy beta liberals are, oh my gosh. Oh. You can't make this up. This is the agenda. Trace the ideology back to its source. Who's enraged by unapologetic masculinity being propagated to the young masses of men? Those that want young men to be feminine and docile. They want to create a slave population that doesn't resist them.
Andrew.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's liberal NGOs which will sponsor agents of the Matrix. They'll sponsor females to end up in a house party and then lie to try and then put you in a Romanian jail cell and get you sitting with the cockroaches in a dungeon. And it's a very scary world where you get to a point where you're only trying to tell the truth.
Do you guys realize how historic this is? He's saying this in front of, at this point, like 2.5 million people who have listened to this so far. And the collective audiences of every single person in this Twitter space, including Elon Musk.
For that, using endless lawfare. And this battle has only just begun. But the Matrix has truly cracked now, and it's going to be extremely hard to lie to us like they did before with X, the way it currently is. And I think it came at exactly the right time. I almost, without trying to sound pessimistic, there was a point where I kind of felt like I was losing hope. You couldn't tell the truth about anything. Everything was a lie. Everything from head to toe was a lie.
Every aspect of reality was being inverted by the resentful leftists. That's not by accident. That's by necessity and design of their ideology. Postmodern neo-Marxism has such resentment for the objective parameters of reality and for the notion of objective truth in and of itself, as I described earlier in this video. They hate individuality, they hate accountability, they hate meritocracy. All of that is associated with a sense-making apparatus that they can't stand, and so they demonize and invert it. That's why the left has gone insane. That's why every single person pushing the current left-wing propaganda that is expected to be pushed today is self-evidently insane. They look insane, they sound insane. They're inferior in every measurable metric of humanity, morality, meritocracy, everything. That's why they look insane. They have a necessity to not only lie, but invert truth, say the opposite of what is real. That is the war. That is the fight we are up against.
And they're trying to lock us all back in our houses again, and we can finally talk about it. It's truly heroic, and Elon's taking massive risk, and the respect I have for him for doing that is enormous.
Absolutely. I mean, this is what happened. I'm going to shut up because I want to hear from Elon, but this is so historic. Elon Musk's courage, and it's true, I have to say it, has broken the back of the globalists. They'll never be able to turn this around again unless they have a nuclear war. Elon Musk has broken
the only way that they could conduct attack against this is to take out the internet. They would have to take out the internet forever, or at least until they create like concentration camps and take away all of our electronics. But here in the United States, we have the Second Amendment, so we can prevent them from like coming to our houses and confiscating our computers. Short of taking down the internet, they cannot stop this resistance against them.
Yeah. Well, I guess some people are afraid to die, but I am not.
Wow.
And you know what?
Wow. Oh my gosh, bro. Elon Musk just said, some people are afraid to die, but I am not. Admitting that that he could literally be killed for what he's doing. You realize what this means? Elon Musk just confirmed in front of millions of people that they are so evil, that they are so perverse and morally bankrupt, that targeted assassination is absolutely part of their playbook. This is the radical left that is compassionate and inclusive. We're so compassionate and inclusive, we'll just have to assassinate you out of tolerance. Your ideas have violated our woke feminine ethos, and so there's nothing left for us to do but remove your life out of tolerance. This is who they are. And they're being exposed in front of hundreds of millions of people, eventually going to be billions. Hundreds of millions just in today.
It's kind of crazy because I was talking to someone the other day and I was explaining, they were asking about my seizure, how they took all my houses, all my money, all my cars, blah, blah. And I said, you never truly own anything on this earth anyway. You can have a piece of paper that says you own it, but if you piss off the government structures, they just get a judge to stamp a different piece of paper and you no longer own it. The only thing you own is your soul and your integrity. And this is the one thing they cannot take away from you no matter what they do to you. And that is the best feeling on earth. It doesn't matter if you can sell your soul to the devil and repeat what they want you to say, but then you truly own nothing. And yeah, I think that as history books...
That was the first time Elon Musk verbally spoke to Andrew Tate just there. Elon Musk just gave his stamp of approval to what Andrew Tate just said about combating the Matrix.
Look back on this pivotal moment when X was finally freed and the information of the world could finally be spoken freely. I really do believe we're on the right side of history. And if you were to ask me if there's anything worth dying for, it would be for the freedom of humanity and to be on the right side of history. So I agree with you absolutely, Elon.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Wow, bro, we're literally the good guys. We're literally resisting the forces of evil itself. We are literally resisting the devil. These leftists who hate humanity, that want to depopulate the earth, that want to say there's no such thing as objective truth, that want to say there's no such thing as moral truth, that instead there's some sort of nihilistic moral relativism, and they're somehow the good guys while they want us to eat bugs. They are truly evil. The people that say they are virtuous with a smile as they try to take away your freedom and liberty and organize themselves into unelected governing bodies where they say we somehow have the right to depopulate the earth by billions, commit genocide against untold billions, maybe trillions of unborn humans. These are the evil people. This is the struggle of our lifetime, guys. Wake up and join the fight.
Just generally in favor of civilization and the furtherance of civilization. And I think we should always be concerned that we can regress as a civilization. And if you study history, you can just see the arc of one civilization after
This is the
another.
resistance of Earth right now. This is literally the best that Earth has right now. In this moment, this is probably the most pivotal moment the world has ever seen, short of whatever happened in evolution when we derived larger brains and our hands to build tools and stuff. This may be the most pivotal moment right now. Earth being saved by people who care about moral truth and objectivism against the disgusting, reprehensible forces of darkness and moral relativism. They're enraged that we're free, and they're enraged that we can judge them as the pathetic freak shows that they are.
And there are many times where I get late stage civilization vibes.
Right. There are so many unthinking people. There are so many people that hate truth. There are so many people that are possessed by Marxism. People that operate almost as if they don't care about their own lives. You see comments on Twitter. You see endless hordes of thoughtless nihilists who are morally relativistic and hate truth on YouTube. You see them everywhere. People that have been possessed by a virus that has destroyed their brain.
And I'm just worried that maybe we're cresting as a civilization and perhaps headed for a fall.
Take a moment to notice the people that have risen to oppose these insane people. All of them are hyper competent men. All of them are hyper-competent men. That is archetypally necessary because they deny the existence of competence. They deny the existence of meritocracy. So it is fitting that the men that would crush them, the people that would rise to the top, are the most competent men. Andrew Tate, Elon Musk, and it is equally inevitable that what you see is the inversion of truth, the denying of their competence, the endless slandering and attacks of these characters, of Elon Musk, of Andrew Tate, of Jordan Peterson, of anyone else that gets big and stands up against the woke degenerate machine and reveals them as frauds. Competence judges them. We are literally superior to them in every metric of human achievement. And when you even notice that, you engage in a system, in a framework that they deny exists, which is objective analysis, which is looking at the world and saying there is a truth to be discovered. They are fundamentally different from you in that sense. They deny that there is a truth to be discovered because they hate accountability. They hate the fact that when you acknowledge that there is a truth to be discovered, that necessitates an individual identity. That's the only element of this conversation that they were missing at the end of it when I tuned in. No one had said they don't believe in the concept of truth in and of itself. They hate objectivism. They wouldn't engage in a debate because they don't believe in debate. They don't believe in free speech. That's the reason why they disregard free speech without a second thought. They ban tenured professors for liking posts. That's what the old Twitter was. And they do it with a smile while calling themselves the good guys because they've divorced themselves from objective notions of truth, from objective notions of accountability. That's what Marxism does. And this is what people must understand. This is why the merit of our character and the merit of our actions will crush them. As people can see with their own eyes the difference between Andrew Tate and fat soy boys who have accomplished nothing, that purport nothing but lies and slander. When people can see the difference, between Elon Musk and a degenerate fat woman who does nothing but lie and slander, who has created nothing, when people can see the difference, that is their defeat.
So, yeah.
Well, I agree with you because I truly believe, and a lot of people have said this before.
This is so cool. Oh, he cut out. He just cut out. This is so cool. This is so cool that Elon Musk is talking with Andrew Tate directly now.
And that this war cannot be avoided. I've had a lot of people who understand why they threw me in jail in Romania and understood I've done nothing wrong. And they said to me, why do you take up this fight? Why you don't just delete your Twitter and disappear and drive a Ferrari all day? And I explained that this war cannot be avoided. You're either on the front line and you're fighting for something,
right,
or you're sitting waiting to die. You're waiting for the Mongol horde to come over the horizon and chop your head off.
I totally agree.
Out of it.
And just to throw this...
This is so cool, bro. Alex Jones, Elon Musk, and Andrew Tate. The Matrix can't stand this. They're frothing at the mouth. And even their control apparatuses, even their matrices for propagating lies is breaking. It's being dwarfed in terms of influence. Their views are inconsequential compared to what's happening on X. Right now, I guarantee you, there are deformed freak fat losers with ugly wives in rooms deliberating on how they can take down the servers of X because there's nothing they can do against the power of truth.
And Elon, I knew you were doing great work. When I saw you 6 months ago at the World Government Summit, where they're all just saying we're going to make everybody eat bugs and we'll make the decisions to put microchips in them, and you said, we don't want a centralized system. We want a diverse system. We want firewalls. And I don't agree with this Tower of Babel you're building. They know that we go through cycles, and they want to artificially create a great reset collapse, in their own words, to make everybody else consolidate power.
They've literally admitted this, guys. This, and you know what's crazy is the Matrix will blatantly lie again because they have no relation to truth or reality. But it's funny. I'm going to create videos about this now that the war is, we can thoroughly just turn our missiles at the WEF, at these degenerate Marxists in the WEF. They will claim that they don't tell people to eat bugs, and then you pull up a video of them saying, we want people to eat bugs. And you pull up an article published by the World Economic Forum saying, we want people to eat bugs. They have no relationship to reality.
Or they'll have a smaller type 2 civilization for themselves. And I think you're trying to build a type 2 civilization, or even a type 1 civilization, I should say, for all of us. And,
right.
And you said we need to have a debate about.
It truly is light versus dark. Holy shit! This is actually the battle of our lifetime, guys. Oh my gosh, I'm in it right now.
Going interstellar, we've got to expand or we collapse. And Elon Musk is saying, correct me if I'm wrong, you don't stay in stasis.
Think of all the people that have fallen off the wagon. Think of all the people that have been destroyed and taken out. Sam Harris, Neil deGrasse Tyson, the heroes that could be with us now, that instead say that men can become women and that truth doesn't exist, that biology doesn't exist. The heroes that we've lost along the way. Neil deGrasse Tyson, you could be here with us right now on the right side of history. You could be here.
You either expand or you collapse.
Yes, exactly. You either grow.
Carl Sagan would be disappointed in you.
Or you collapse. You don't. The steady state is basically an impossibility. So you have to pick it. You have to make a choice. Do you want to grow civilization, or do you want to decline?
It is good versus evil. It is good versus evil. It is good versus evil.
And collapse. And because steady state is not stable. So, and I say we grow, and I say we expand, and we have.
That is, I've never even had a single thought to the contrary. It has always been my expectation that humanity would be aiming forward. But there are people broken and nihilistic and hate-filled enough, possessed by the spirit of Cain, to invert truth.
More humans, and we become a multi-planet species and a space-faring civilization, and ultimately be out there among the stars. And I think that is the exciting, inspiring thing for the future. Not a declining human civilization that dwindles to nothingness and where humanity dies with a whimper.
And that's the bottom line. I think it is the battle of people who believe in humans and humanity and want it to expand against people who are so selfishly going through the earth and so selfishly orientated that they don't care about expanding civilization. They just want to control the humans that are currently here.
And Andrew, I totally agree with you.
And arrogance.
I totally agree. Let me throw this caveat on it because
Dude, this is the Matrix worst nightmare right now. It's happening this day, December 10th. Will go down in history. The Matrix worst nightmare. The World Economic Forum's worst nightmare. The people who hate humanity. The endless liars. The soy boy. The fat freaks with long hair. This is their worst nightmare. We've come together. We are opposing them. We will defeat them. We are already crushing them. There are people in rooms right now devising how to take down X's servers. X must be defended at all costs. At all costs.
I've read the writings Bill Gates and Klaus Schwab.
Elon Musk needs to increase his security team tenfold, maybe 20-fold. Spend the money. 50 million doesn't matter to that man. So he could spend 100 million a year, and it wouldn't even faze him. Elon, do it. Protect yourself.
In the Club of Rome, they know we could easily expand. There's plenty of room. Hundreds of billions of known galaxies.
Yes.
They know that this is just the seed that's going to not just grow into one giant oak, but an entire forest, an entire universe.
Yes.
And so they want to shut everybody else down because they can't deal with competition from the Elon Musk that come out of the general public. They want a global tyranny so they can direct it and control it so that they direct the expansion. And we can't let that happen because they literally talk about it in Agenda 21, the official UN plan, a 90% world population reduction. So we need to
They
go.
literally talk about depopulating the earth, guys. They are planning genocide. They're planning genocide, and unlike World War II, they are prepping the way. They tried to prep the way for it by moral nihilism. They were teaching moral relativism, nihilism, sophistry, anti-ideas, anti-intellectualism in the schools. They're pushing brain fog. They're pushing the woke mind virus. They're pushing resentment against humanity in every single structure, like universities of humanity, that they could find, because that's their agenda. And they knew that they would be opposed if they couldn't do that, that people would resist them. X is standing against the forces of darkness as we speak. This feels like a divine agenda. I'm just gonna say it. What's happening right now, it's good versus evil. It feels like a divine agenda that X exists this way.
The Elon Musk plan. That's why I tell people that get upset. They go, Elon Musk is involved in every advancing technology. The globalists are pushing that too. Well, technology is like a gun. It's whose hand it's in. And so we need the gun in the people's hands, the gun of expansion, instead of in the globalist hands. And so just because Elon Musk is on the cutting edge of every technology, don't fear the technology like some troglodyte. Fear us not being in control of it. And Elon is saying we need to be an expansionary human explosion of competition and freedom, not some new dark age with a tiny breakaway.
It's insane. It's insane, the people that aren't here when you think about it. When you think about like how truly evil people are, like the Young Turks, how truly evil. There's no one on the left in this call. There's no one. This call is nothing but absolute virtue, and just, dude, it is truth versus darkness right here. What you're listening to, isn't that insane? The number of people that aren't here that hate humanity, that are possessed by the left-wing ideology into wishing the death for humanity. It is a cult. It is a cult of death, like Elon said on Joe Rogan.
Civilization that's only working for itself. Sorry, I'm ranting.
No, but you're completely right, because if Elon doesn't push these boundaries, they will push these boundaries. And once they have the sole control and the monopoly over such technologies, it's over for all of us. And I don't think most people understand. It simply is the humanistic view against the death cult view. And there's people in the world who have no interest in growing.
Oh my gosh, they hate that this happens. They tried to take Andrew out like 16 different times. This is their worst fear. This is their worst nightmare, and it's happening on December 10th, 2023. This is their worst nightmare, guys. I hope you're listening.
Humanity, no interest in advancing the species as a whole. Their interest is in power and control, and all they want to do is have absolute power over the people that currently exist and their children. And you can talk about all the perverse reasons they want to do those exact things, but it's truly scary. And all the people at home who don't really understand the
postmodern neo-Marxism, hatred for reality, the spirit of Cain, the denial of competence, meritocracy, objectivism, and individual identity. Those are the tenets of postmodern neo-Marxism that undergird the resentment of these anti-humanity cultists. So that's a quick explanation.
Gravity of this fight. They seem to think it's right wing, left wing, ha ha ha.
Yes, exactly. They're thinking about it the wrong way. It's sorry, I just got a little X here. But you're totally exactly. This right left it's the wrong way to think about it.
Elon Musk is agreeing with Andrew Tate. They're fucked.
And once you see that it's extinctionist versus the pro-humans, then it becomes very clear.
So Elon, when are you going to? I know you got 100 irons to the fire, but when you talk about we need to create a plan B for humanity. Well, that's really
no. It's not a plan.
An alternate master plan, because the globalists are in control right now. You're trying to wrest control with us, helping. I mean, when are you going to put out your battle plan, or are you already putting it out in pieces?
No, I mean,
What a fascinating thing to say, especially with Andrew Tate here, because you're really seeing the true hierarchy, the beauty of competence hierarchy. Elon Musk is the most impressive man on the face of the planet, and even Andrew Tate is forced to acknowledge that in this moment. Elon Musk is literally the leader of civilization right now. This is our coherence. This is our beauty on display. The fact that we recognize the competence hierarchies that allow us to operate. The same, how it's a joke that men like to think about the Roman Empire. It's because of those hierarchies that you see, the generals, the foot soldiers. Men fantasize about taking part in, objective campaigns of virtue where we engage in, structure and hierarchy. What we're seeing right now is exactly that. Alex Jones just turned to essentially the general, to the emperor, or whatever the equivalent would be in the Roman Empire, and said, "What is our battle plan? Tell us our battle plan. Tell us the marching orders."
I mean, what I'm saying is that actually, I think we should expand humanity. Basically, we should have basically more kids. Population should increase,
And we should innovate, and we should reject Marxism.
and we should become a multi-planet species, and make life multiplanetary. Build a self-sustaining civilization on Mars, and then ultimately, this will be long after I'm dead, probably, but. Almost certainly, we can go to other star systems and go out there and, I don't know, maybe we'll find some long dead alien civilizations. And I don't think we want to be one of those lame one planet civilizations that never got beyond, its home planet. I mean, we gotta,
I wish Jordan Peterson was in this call.
what are the aliens going to think of that? It's like we got to make a good showing. Team Human.
Well,
Let's go.
And that would absolutely that would be
LFG.
certainly disappointing. But it's essential, and truthfully, it's so amazing we'd even speak about these things. Only 2 years ago, you couldn't even speak about these subjects, but it's so pertinently
They
obvious.
hate humanity, bro. The left hates humanity so much they wouldn't allow this. They literally would ban tenured professors for liking posts that politically disagree with them. This is how disgusting and perverse the woke mind virus. Oh my gosh, dude. I'm just thinking about how disgusting it was that there were degenerate, fat, overweight women possessed by the woke mind virus in these Twitter rooms where they're like, I don't like what this confident man has to say because it reminds me of objective meritocracy. Ban. Dude, that's literally like such a bastardization of humanity's future. It was so disgusting. And by the way, that's not just some sort of imagined state that I just spoke of. We know that happened because there are pictures of the people that stayed on when Elon fired 80% of the company, and all the people that he fired were useless woke women that their sole purpose at Twitter was to be a censoring apparatus for people. And those were the type of people, the fat, obese, overweight, soy, low testosterone men and women that stood against this happening before. This could never happen. Not only would they not innovate to even create this, X Twitter space, they would ban anyone. Dude, think about this. Almost every single person in this call, if not every person in this call, would be banned if the left still controlled Twitter.
Anyone who pays attention, and it is scary, and expansion and humanistic views are certainly the way to progress, and it has to be done. There's no other way. Just like a business, just like you guys said, if you stand still, you die. And it takes a few brave people to break the matrix. You have to break the dam, and I think bravery is so important because it puts a crack in the dam, and it shows that if there's people out there brave enough to risk getting canceled, risk lawsuits, risk lawfare, then it's going to inspire bravery amongst the rest of the populace. And it becomes extremely hard to lie to brave people.
Little X talking over Andrew Tate. Oh, dude, this is so cool.
And I think that's one of the largest pandemics of Earth today is bravery. And when I say bravery, I don't mean that in any kind of negative connotation. Bravery is being full of love and loving the people around you and sticking up for your community and loving where you live and loving your country. And it's
We're the good guys. Wow.
brave to do those things. And it's love.
What do the globalists teach us?
In the end.
Children are bad. We're ugly. Humans create all this racial division. They want us to hate each other, so we just give up, roll over, so the globalists can have the future.
Right. Exactly. They hate humanity. It's the spirit of Cain. That's what they have to understand.
I would just like to say here.
The globalists are short-sighted too, because the thing is that you can't really separate yourself from civilization. So I think those who are sort of advocating.
Right. They think that they're going to somehow like live in the mountains above everyone and just rule a couple 100 million people. It's like, no. You're actually going to suffer as a result of this, dramatic hellscape that you want to do. You actually are going to be destroying humanity if you got your way, and your life wouldn't be better. But the thing is they don't believe in the existence of truth or objective vetting of ideas, which is what the people in this call either don't understand or haven't acknowledged. That's the reason why nothing that they do is coherent when you analyze it. They don't care about coherence in the first place.
It's really, I think it's just logical to be pro-civilization. You don't actually necessarily have to be altruistic. You just have to think long-term and say, obviously you cannot exist in any good way without civilization. I mean, just look at...
These people actually are opposed to existing. That's the thing. That's what true evil is. That's what the spirit of Cain is.
Watch one episode of Naked and Afraid and see how much you want to go live in a forest by yourself.
We're in a super pivotal moment now, and the reason we're in a pivotal moment is because the machines cannot do the policing as of yet. My brother and I often talk about how bad COVID would have been if they had Terminator machines. You didn't have your mask on. You couldn't even appeal to the empathy of the person who knew how insane it all was. As soon as the machines control the policing, it's absolutely over, and we're not that far away. So we're in a very pivotal period now where the bravery that's required to resist the globalist oppression has to happen now. Soon the technology will exist. And it's over for everybody.
We are at a critical crossroads right now in the entire future of the human destiny. And I called it Plan B, but I mean, Elon, what do you call it? Just an alternate plan for humanity? Because we can have a debate because the Black Rocks and the globalists are right now in control. If they were 100% control, you and others have helped rested to maybe they're in 80% control. They're losing control very quickly as people discover what they're doing.
You guys realize the CIA is listening. You guys realize that BlackRock is listening. You guys realize that Larry Fink is listening. You guys realize that Charles Schwab and the Young Turks and everyone is listening right now. Do you understand that they are trembling? They are in shambles. They cannot fundamentally combat truth. A line in the Bible just came to me. The light shone on in the darkness, and the darkness grasped it not. Evil fundamentally cannot triumph over the light. That's the reason why we're destined to win. We must choose morality. We must choose the light. We must choose objectivism. We must choose moral integrity and bravery and beauty.
What would you call the debate and discussion about a pro-human future? Just team humanity?
Yeah, team humanity. Absolutely. That sounds good. But I think something that is really important is like, you just literally have to have kids, or there's no next generation. Alex, do you have kids?
Yes, I do. I'm not as prolific as you, but I wish I was. They're the best thing in my life. I have 4.
Okay, great. And Andrew?
I do have a few. I won't let you down, Elon.
This is so cool.
I'm coming to take over your title. I'm coming to take over.
Oh my God, dude! Elon Musk just asked Andrew Tate how many kids he has, and Andrew Tate said, "I'm coming for your title." Dude, wow.
I'm doing my best. I got to use my good looks for something.
Well, I think we ought to encourage people to have kids
and this is the bottom line argument. This is what is so important. We just talked about how the globalists are ultimately selfish and only care about their own power.
Most of the globalists don't have children. And of course, because
exactly. All the liberal, woke, soy libtards with blue hair, they're opposed to being mothers. They bastardize what it is to be a woman, and they invert what it is to be a father. They hate masculinity. These people hate humanity, and in so doing is their demise. We just have to beat them. And the darkness grasps not the light. It's so obvious.
Here's the thing.
The light shone on in the darkness, and the darkness grasped it not.
You guys are all attacking the globalists, but if you ask a globalist, like I have friends who I would consider globalists. You ask them,
this guy sounds like a soy boy libtard. No wonder he has friends that are globalists. What the fuck?
Ideologies are aligned that they believe that somebody living across the world is just as valuable as somebody who lives in America. And I know, there's
no, they don't, because they want to genocide most of the earth. What the fuck?
Enslave the third world, and then
yeah, they absolutely do not believe in any of that. They don't believe in morality. They hate truth. They hate Dude, they are not. They do not have any type of good intention for any person besides themselves, and even for themselves, as we established earlier, they're not going to create anything better.
That's not how everybody who you would categorize as.
No, you're right. There's a lot of useful idiot globalists, but the globalists at the top are depopulationists. That's their religion.
So maybe if you want to look at the top, you can say globalists at the top. Some of them might have that.
This is like soy boy super soy libtard voice right here. Definitely, you hear this voice in Discord channels all the time.
But if you just talk to an ordinary person who views themselves as a globalist, they're not saying, "Oh, I'm evil." They're not an evil person. They just have this belief that every
wrong. They are evil. They hate humanity. They are Marxists.
Human being around the globe is equal. That's
I would call that an internationalist. That's an internationalist. A globalist wants one world.
This retard should not be speaking when Elon Musk and Andrew Tate can talk. Oh my gosh, disgusting.
World government run by corporations.
Yeah, well, I think you can label them differently, but I think if you talk to somebody,
Henry Kissinger was a globalist. Zbigniew Brzezinski was a globalist. I'm not trying to be mean to you, but their number one rule is the Earth is too small. We can't expand. We've got to bean count and put everybody on rations. We've got to social engineer and end the normal human program because humans are failed. They want to turn us into factory farm humans. Those are allowed to survive.
I'll answer the question. I'll answer the question.
Sorry, guys. If we can just say, so some of these titles are a little confusing. If someone's an internationalist or a globalist, I think what can achieve some disambiguation here is to say, does someone have
it's really cool to see the hierarchy that even Andrew Tate must respect. Elon Musk is the top G.
Axiomatic belief that there are too many people on the Earth, or do they not? Do they believe that the Earth can sustain the current population, or do they think it cannot? Now, the reality is Earth can actually handle a human population probably 10 times larger than the current population. Earth is actually very sparsely populated by humans. We only see density because if we're in a dense urban environment.
I would say 100 times, not 10 times. Earth could populate. Dude, when we have unlimited energy, which we can essentially get unlimited energy with the nuclear reactor that is in the sky, there's no limit to what we can do. It's not a physical space constraint.
Like New York or Boston, London, or something like that. But if here would be like a good test. If you took a plane from LA to New York and you try to drop a bowling ball and hit somebody, your chances of success are basically zero.
You'd have to drop 10,000 bowling balls, maybe.
Yes, you just and I'll tell you sort of something that may scare people a little bit is that there are thousands of objects falling onto Earth from space all the time, but how often do you hear about someone actually getting hit by falling by meteorites?
Absolutely. There's one known case of a woman with her house getting hit by one.
Elon, yeah. I want to just respond to Ed actually for a second because again, when it comes, I think it's good to get a good counter view here. I think that there's two different things going on, Ed, and I know what you're trying to say. But
Jordan Peterson should be here. It's the Marxist problem.
There's a separate point about your obligations, right? So you can, and I believe everything has been said about the importance of expansionism. For humanity being pro-civilization and expansion, pro-human race to win. That's like a separate axis, though, from saying where are your obligations where you are, right? So we talked about procreation and family. Then we talked about the nation. Well, look, I have two kids. As a father, my moral obligation, I believe, is first and foremost to my family. And then, let's say, as a president, my moral obligation is to the citizens of the nation that I lead. And then you can worry about hunger in the Congo or whatever else needs to happen in the Darfur or in other places. And so I don't think that you're saying necessarily that life...
Charity begins at home.
Exactly. And that's not saying that life abroad is any less valuable inherently. And so when you say like the globalist
It's an amazing point. Essentially what he's doing is he's abstracting the concept of individualism. The world and the West, the greatest moral light that has ever been constructed, is built on the sovereignty and the divine locus of the individual. That's what everything rests upon. That is the fundamental building block. The individual becomes the family unit becomes the community builds a bigger community. Then you build the West, and every single person is beholden personally to an objective moral standard. That is the greatest thing that humanity has created so far to build civilization. And that's Christianity for sure. That is individualism for sure. That is reason-based philosophy, absolutely, coming from all the way back from Athens thousands of years ago. But that's essentially what Vivek is saying here. We have that's where we have to wrest responsibility. But the problem is what we're battling, the forces of darkness, don't believe in individual identity. That is part and parcel of the postmodern neo-Marxists. They don't believe in the existence of an individual because they can't acknowledge that there is such a thing as moral accountability to an objective standard, because again, they hate objectivity. They hate every variable in the equation that points to a better future, every aspect of it. Said it thousands of times, but individual identity, objective notions of truth, reason, moral coherence, every single and free speech, every aspect of truth is inverted. It is perverted. This is an aspect of evil. This is an aspect of the spirit of Cain that possesses them. This is what they must understand.
Is that all it's saying is that all life is equal wherever it is on Earth. It's not like, I think an alternative view is countering that. There's also just a separate place in terms of where you're situated. Where's your obligation, right? As a father, it's to your family. As a president, it's to your country. And just because you believe that's the hierarchy of your obligations means somebody else is the leader of one of those other countries. And that's an obligation that they have too. But that's like a different discussion.
Well, the neoliberals in their own PR, they're the ones doing the worst things on the earth. They just say, oh, we want global government because we want to give Africa's representation. Then they lock them down for 3 years.
It's just lies. It's the same type of lies that they've been conducting elsewhere. We're compassionate, we're the good guys. Meanwhile, we're going to conduct tyranny against you. We're going to exclude you from the public town square out of compassion. We're going to take away your rights and say that it's because we're inclusive. All they do is lie, and it's because they don't believe in truth.
And starve 30 million of them to death, and then organize them to flood us
right.
as a political underclass. This is cold-blooded Henry Kissinger State Department Memorandum 200. I mean,
it's not black and white.
I think there's two different conversations.
But what is black and
I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Andrew. Go ahead, Andrew, and then we'll go to Dave. Andrew?
Okay. What I do believe is black and white is simply, if you read a history book, you'll see the worst things that humanity have ever done have been done with good intentions. That's what's so bad about evil acts, is that people think they're doing the right thing. And that's the most dangerous thing about it. And this idea that they look at all human life as sacred and all the same, I actually disagree. I think the reason they will prioritize people in a third world country, for example, you'll say it's because they see us as equal. I think it's because they see us now as spoilt and annoying. They don't like that we need pensions and living space and healthcare. They simply want slaves and a robot class, and they'll do anything it takes to get it, and they'll get it from anywhere they can. And when someone comes along and says, well, my intentions are good, I'm not interested in that, because you can name any Holocaust or any atrocity in history. The people didn't think they were the bad guys. They often thought they were the good guys. And I guess the easy way to look at life is you want to be having as many children as possible. You want to pray other people do the same, and you want those people to enjoy freedom. And anyone who's coming along restricting speech, restricting access to certain things, restricting movement, all they're doing is trying to restrict so they can control. And nobody in a history book ever who did that either was the good guy. I think it's very clear to see who's on the right side of history and who isn't. And I advocate freedom for everybody. If I had disagreed with absolutely everything Alex said, I'd still be glad he's back on X, and these people can't even handle a different opinion. Do you think they're going to allow the people who have a different opinion to them to share water or share food or share anything else once they have
And the reason they don't want another opinion is they want to misrepresent what Elon Musk or Andrew Tate or Vivek Ramaswamy or any of, I'm telling you, they want us silenced so they can lie about what we said.
Yeah.
I agree with you.
Shut up, beta freak. No one cares what you have to say.
Jackson, I'm going to go to you right after Dave.
Yeah, I'm just saying, I agree that with you there. I think that a lot of the media and a lot of these
soy boy Discord voice sounding dumbass is the only person unable to grasp what's going on here. This is a waste of time.
Platforms do want to silence voices because they want their voice to be heard louder. So yeah, I definitely hear you there. I definitely, as when it comes to globalists, I think, it's not black and white. You're not either a globalist or you're not. I think people fall in between, and there's different reasons for why people might feel one way about one, you could say globalist idea and another. So I mean, I don't like painting people with a black and white pen, because I feel that everybody falls somewhere in the middle.
No, they don't.
Can I just say,
There are people that want a corporate world government whose aim is depopulation and not giving the general public access to technology by lying about resources.
Yeah, that guy's a dumbass. He has literally no idea what he's talking about. He should be removed from the call.
And literally saying carbon dioxide that plants breathe is evil, and then telling us the world's going to end in 2030 and the ice caps are all going to melt, and none of that's true.
That's literally what they say, by the way.
I'm super pro-human, like for Team Humanity here, and I just think we want to make sure that people have a positive view of the future, and like I think I encounter a lot of people who have actually very pessimistic conclusions about the future. And if you try to unpack that and say, where does that pessimism come from?
It's Marxism.
And I think like these are like, good people, like they have good intentions. I think they think about things and come from is believing that there are too many humans on the planet. This is false. Earth can easily sustain far more than the current population. And
they don't want that to be true, and they don't believe in truth. This is how we must understand we're not fighting against people that believe in reason. They're psychopathic that way. They're not interested in truth.
But they've been told this thing, and they've believed it, and it is false.
I'm going to sign out.
I'm very pro-environment, obviously.
Bye, Andrew.
I might have done more. I might have done more, for sustainable energy than maybe any single human. So I would consider myself an environmentalist, but I also believe in physics and reality and not sort of being alarmist about things. Something
you said was really smart, and I've seen the equations. I'm not a mathematician or rocket scientist like you, but we need the fossil fuels to get to the new technologies and transfer over. You can't cut them all off and then not have it. They're blowing up the bridge that gets them there.
Absolutely. Okay, I think this is a really, really good time to end the analysis, to end the video here, because I've said basically every single thing that needs to be recognized here that isn't being recognized, and this is right when Andrew Tate signed out. Guys, be sure to subscribe to YouTube and follow me on X, because you know that if I was in this conversation, it would have been that much better.